Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a new week in the motor trade fast lane. Or if it goes anything like last week, a week in the motor trade hard shoulder with the hazards on, waiting for recovery. Last week was not fantastic, but before we get cracking, I would just like to say thank you ever so much for the really nice comments that we've received on the first video. It's nice to hear from some of you again. Thank you very much. I read them all. I replied to the vast majority of them. Really, really nice. So I do really appreciate it. Thank you. It was nice on yesterday when I went through them all just to have a bit of appreciation. So very kind of you, which means I'm back for another week. So this week I'm hoping is a lot better than last week. It was tough last week. We had a few warranty claims. We had a few cars arrive from auction which needed a bit of love. Clutches, gearboxes, expensive bits. So yes, I'm hoping this week is going to be a lot more successful. We only sold 2 retail cars, which is not good enough. And it's as simple as that. That is not good enough. We've got quite a lot of staff these days. So we need to be selling more cars than that. On the flip side, we have got a workshop as well, which is open to the public. So we do receive, a sensible income from that as well. So we're not just a car sales site that is hanging our hat fully on selling cars every week. So it is not the end of the world to have a quiet week. To be honest, it might be a bit of a good thing because it gives you a bit of a kick in the arse to try and perhaps tighten up on a few things. I'll be checking the pricing thoroughly this week. We have been trying to price cars in the fair category, and to be honest, those cars have still been selling. So I don't think it's that, but I will be checking the pricing just to make sure we're not last out of all of them in the country, unless the car's particularly special. Not many inquiries over the weekend. Tony's got an appointment in our Hereford site this morning on a Citroen C3 and a Citroen C1. They want to sit in both of them and compare and contrast the sizes. We did a handover on Saturday in the Hereford site. A gentleman came over from Wellingborough, which is quite a long way away, to pick up a Lexus, which we'd done the full deal remotely, sorted his finance and all that sort of thing. So I'm hoping I get to work this morning and the switchboard is going to light up like a Christmas tree. We're going to be having calls out of our ears, reservation fees left, right and centre, but it just does feel a little bit quiet, which is... I'm not concerned because this is not our first rodeo, so we have been on this roller coaster many, many times before. What you don't want is 2 or 3 quiet weeks in a row, and then things do get, we've got end of the month coming up, end of this week, so we've got wages, we've got all our bills, we've got all our parts suppliers to pay. So you don't want 2 or 3 quiet weeks in a row. We need to get some things turning, get some cash flow going. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I think always when you're quiet, there's more warranties, whether there are actually more warranties or whether it just feels like they are because you're not selling cars so quickly. So last week was a little bit, obviously we've still got that bloody Fiesta we've got to sort out. Gearbox mounting is arriving today. We'll pop that on. I am not holding the best hope for that little baby, but if it doesn't work, then, we'll give the customer the option and he can see what he wants to do. So that's going to arrive today. We'll get that on. We're doing the clutch on the i20 so we can get that up for sale. And I did notice that lots of garages were rather busy at the end of last week and over the weekend. One fellow motor trade comrade, they sold 7 cars on Saturday, which is fantastic. But it always seems that way. If you're quiet, everybody else is busy. So it makes you feel even worse about the situation. But we will soldier on, and I will update you later on. So here's to Monday. It's grey, it's miserable, but nothing can dampen the spirits in the motor trade. So I'll catch you later. Right, it is Monday, about 10 o'clock. Some good news, some bad news. You can see the good news. There we go. The little Fiesta is fixed. Anti-roll bar bushes on the front. We'd lubricated the outside of the bushes last week, but my mechanic came in this morning, bright-eyed, full of enthusiasm. He said, I think it's the anti-roll bar bushes. Try those. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. So we got some up. They're about 8 or 9 quid each. Bang them on, and would you Adam and bloody Eve it? It's sorted. So really good news. The car is fixed. The customer will have the car back and be delighted. He's had a car essentially rebuilt. So we've lost a tump of money. We've lost a tump of time. But ultimately, a successful outcome, which is all you can hope for under a warranty issue. The customer will be pleased. We're very poor, but it's sorted. Didn't want to be defeated on that one, you know. Not myself, not the mechanic. You don't like being beaten on something, especially on something as simple as a Fiesta. You know, it's not a car that Elon Musk is going to be taking to Mars. So, you know, pleased with that. So that's a decent start to the Monday. Unfortunately, Tony hasn't sold a car on the Hereford site this morning. They are in their very early stages of looking. They did like the Citroen C3, so that is at the top of the list. They're going to go away and think about it and maybe have a look at some other cars, I guess. So we'll see what happens on that. And that is about the size of it. But we will give this little Fiesta a wash and a hoover and get it back to the customer this afternoon. And fingers crossed we don't see that car until it comes back for its MOT next year, and it shouldn't need anything unless he goes rally driving in between. But there we go, all sorted, which is good news, and I will catch you later on. Right, good evening, Monday evening, and it is 6:35 PM. My God, I'll be putting this on the overtime sheet. Anyway, for a Monday, considering last week was pretty crap, let's be fair, we've had a much better Monday. Back to the normal Bowens way, so I'm feeling positive. Really pleased with how today's gone. I will run you through it all and give myself a pat on the back, or give the team a pat on the back, actually, to be precise. So yeah, let's have a look. So, you may remember this little Fiesta. This arrived with us on Friday morning, and we've given it a wash, and we've sold it. So that's brilliant. A girl and her mum popped in this morning just having a look around. I think they'd seen it online over the weekend, just with the auction pictures, actually. And they came back this evening with her dad, quick test drive, and all good to go. Deposit paid. We'll get the car through the workshop. Obviously, we'll get it valeted properly and ready to rock and roll, and they'll pick it up on the 1st of April. So that's not really been advertised properly at all, which is great. Really nice little car. I thought that smooth mint would do well, and it has done. So that was sale number 1 for today. While we're in here, the Mini, we've got a test drive on this first thing tomorrow morning. A lady popped in this afternoon, and her sister-in-law's bought a car off us previously. They're looking for something to replace a Citroen C4. It's getting a bit long in the tooth now, but just want to check the size is right, make sure it drives okay. They're in their sort of fairly early stages of looking, but I think they'd quite like to buy a car off us, so they're coming in at 8 o'clock in the morning. Volvo's now looking magnificent, so that'll be pictured and videoed in the morning. Little 205s, we're getting there. I'm going to do a separate video on that one as and when, but it's my little love child, that one. So Volvo will be pictured in the morning. Hopefully we'll do something with the Mini in the morning. That's good news. Capture gearbox was absolutely knackered, so we had a call from our gearbox people this morning, and it was not in a good state of affairs, that gearbox. So they've sent us a new one, so that's back in, clutch is in, so it's just a case of putting that back together then, and that'll be back on the pitch and ready to rock and roll, and then we'll head out through into death row. That's our little trade Fiat Panda. We took this in part exchange a couple of months ago, actually. 1.3 diesel, it's a Panda Cross. We use it for bombing around the place. It does 1 million to the gallon. I think it's done 100,000 miles, something like that. But we use that for all our fetching and carrying to the alloy wheels, the body shop, the barn that we've got as well for storage. So we're up and down, round and round in that thing. But We quite like it. These are workshop customers' cars. Both of these are having ABS pumps, actually. And these two, nothing done with us yet, but the sold row is starting to look better. The Up's going out on Wednesday. Jazz is going out on Thursday. Fiesta's going out on the 1st of April. i20 is going to have a clutch. It was supposed to have one today, but master cylinder's not arriving until Wednesday, so rather than just leave it stuck on a ramp, we've pushed it outside. And then today we have also sold the Seat Ibiza FR automatic. Now, we actually traded this one, so obviously, as you know, we've had a quiet week. This was booking quite high, so this was sort of capping at over 14 grand. And it owed us a fair bit less than that. It's an absolutely immaculate vehicle. It's got full Seat main dealer service history. It's one owner from new. But I stuck it on a couple of the trade sites this morning and sold it for a small trade profit. But it's quite an expensive car, you know. It was over, sort of in the trade, sort of over 13 grand. So we've cashed in on that one. We've made a couple of £100. But it's paid for. It's getting picked up on Wednesday, and we will reinvest. But we have also sold this evening, which is why we're still here. Myself and Ty, we had one each after 5 o'clock. So we've just done the deal on this lovely 22 plate Focus titanium in the Desert Island Blue, which to me is a fabulous colour. I think it looks absolutely brilliant with those grey alloy wheels. So this was a lovely car. Really nice specs, got the big wide screen in there. And the customer on this one actually came and drove it last week, maybe last Tuesday. And has got a little old Fiesta to part exchange, but was looking at a few. Gave me a call over the weekend, pretty much the only call we had on the weekend actually, and said that he'd like to come down Monday after work. So came over this afternoon or this evening with his girlfriend, took it for another spin, made sure he was happy with all the controls and all that sort of thing, and we've done the deal on that one as well. So that's 2.5 today. I'll call it 2 proper ones and obviously a trade one where we've made a little bit. So 2.5 for today. We've got an appointment on the Mini in the morning. We've also got an appointment on something else tomorrow. Ah, yes, the Mangrove Green i10 automatic. We've got a gentleman coming in tomorrow. I think he's got a Jazz automatic to part exchange, which is obviously a fair bit older. He's not 100% sure this is going to be the right car, but wants to come and try it. So we'll see how that goes. And Tony did also have an appointment on the orange Ago automatic, and that was in the Hereford site, and he had that at 4 o'clock. They are going to let him know tomorrow. So certainly a much busier day. It's been a lot more active, more how we like, you know. Mondays are normally really busy for us because we're not here on site on the weekends, so people do much around. Mondays are usually one of our busiest days of the week, so this felt like a normal Monday for us. Not to say I like being here till 7 o'clock every night, but I'm putting the hours in to do this content for you. And it's a lovely evening in Ross, and it's peaceful here. Look, if you look at this, there's not many forecourts where you've got a nice view of some twigs and a lake and a campsite over there. And, you know, there's worse places to work in the world, certainly. So there we go, a much more positive day. I think after last week you'll all be thinking, Christ, who is this moaning old idiot? But yeah, much more like a normal Bowen's day. So we'll be back to it in the morning, 8 o'clock appointment in the morning. Whew, you know, no rest for the wicked in this game. And we'll see how we go with that, and I will update you in due course. Take it easy. Right, good afternoon all. It is Tuesday, later on, about 5:15. Just wrapping up for the day, and it's been a good day. Pleased. 2 good days in a row, so hopefully we're back in the game. More like the Bowens we should be expecting. So I'll show you what's happened today. So Ibiza's going out in the morning. That was the trade run that we sold yesterday, but we have 2 more on the board for today, which is great news. So Audi A3 S-Line. This is the 1.4 TFSI, fantastic looking car. Very low mileage, 40 odd thousand, 50,000 maybe just. One owner from new, full Audi main dealer service history, loads of added options, Bose speakers, front and rear. Has it got front sensors? Not sure, but it's got nearly £3 worth of added options on that one. So it wasn't a particularly cheap car. Michelin's all round proper thing. That sold to some people who know quite well, so we gave them a little bit of a discount, but really nice example. Just needs an MOT. It had a full service and a cam belt last year, all been done at Audi, so we'll give that an MOT, check all the levels and a PDI, and that'll be away. They're carless at the moment, so we'll try and get that turned around by the end of the week if we can. And we also sold the Ford Fiesta ST line. This came from my good friend Malcolm over at MB Motors in Ballymena, Northern Ireland. I deal with Malcolm quite a bit. Fantastic bloke to deal with. Wonderful setup he's got over there, by the way. His pitch looks absolutely fantastic. All purpose built. Very jealous of his site. And he has been on a few of the podcasts and some other people's videos. So if you haven't checked MB Motors out, check out his stock because it's lovely. And cracking bloke to deal with. So this came from Malcolm. He even had, before he sent it across on the boat, he even had the wheels refurbished for me. So that sold, and strangely enough, that actually sold to the couple who were booked in to come and have a look at the Mini this morning. So a bit of a strange turn of events. Quite different cars. The Mini, both 5 doors, both similar age, both low mileage, but very different in terms of spec. Obviously very different in terms of drive. But the lady had Fiestas before and was very keen on having another one. Once she sat in it, she said she felt just right at home. They preferred how it drove to the Mini. They did drive both cars, quite extensive test drives, but they came back and straight away Fiesta was what they wanted. So that's good news. Little Citroen C4 diesel coming in part exchange, which we'll trade out. And yeah, pleased with that one. They've asked for a few bits and bobs, which they're going to pay for on top. Some rubber mats, a spare wheel, some seat covers, all of which we will sort before they have the car on the 1st of April. So 2 for today, 2 yesterday, plus that trade say at Ibiza. We've actually had quite a few inquiries today as well on a few different cars, most of which are over in the Hereford site actually, so Tony will be doing those. But a positive couple of days to end the month on a high, hopefully. So yeah, also let me Renault Capture's back on the pitch, so gearbox and clutch have been done on that, and it's driving absolutely bang on. There was a chap who was going to come and see the Mangrove i10, wasn't there? But he did pull out this morning. Didn't give us a reason why. So potentially going to buy a new one. I'm not sure. And we pictured and videoed the Volvo S60. This looks a belting car to me. I just think it looks... I don't know if it's because it's quite an angular shape. I just really like the look of it with those twin tailpipes. So hopefully that will be a popular car. So yeah, all in all, good day. Tony's got a test drive tomorrow afternoon on a Fiat 500 in Hereford, and we've got a few other irons in the fire. So potentially turning into a good week. We'll be back tomorrow for another fun-filled day in the motor trade. See you then. Right, good evening all. Tuesday evening. I just thought, because I keep talking about it, and I keep saying we've got appointments here and Tony's going to be here and so on, I thought on my way home I'll just swing by the Hereford site and give you a little tour around, I suppose, because for those of you who are new to the channel, you won't have seen this site, you won't know it's here, so I thought I'll just give you a little flavour of what it's like, really. Little overflow site for us. Luckily I only live a few minutes around the corner, so it works out quite nicely for us. Everything's by appointment anyway across both sites, so this allows us to have some extra storage, have a presence in my hometown, and obviously we can swap cars from site to site quite easily. It's not a huge amount of money per month, and it just really works for us without having to have a full-time salesperson here, really. So let me just show you. So we can keep about 14, 16 cars here, really. 14 comfortably, 16 at a push, so we always have 10 down this row, and all the similar sort of stock. So usually what will happen is the cars will start over in our Ross on Y site, because that's where they're advertised. You'll notice all the pictures are there, all the videos are done there, because that's where I'm based all the time, so they're all advertised there. And then we'll, very often if the car sits in stock for a couple of weeks, we'll just keep swapping them basically. So there's 10 down this row, just a little very rudimentary office in there, but we have got a card machine, we've got Wi-Fi and so on. Just a very simple, straightforward setup. And then the site's sort of finished about here. We've had this site for about 4 years in October, I think. So we've re-gravelled it since we've had it. Obviously we've put the signage up. It's quite a busy road, and over there, which I'll show you in a second, is Hereford train station. So for people who are travelling from away, it can work really well. But just to show you what we've done to this place, really, the site used to sort of not finish here, but it became very wastelandy, sort of what's on the other side of the fence, to be honest. So we wanted somewhere undercover, because obviously there's nothing. So we had this lean-to bus stop carport sort of jobby put up a few years ago. We've got LED lights under here, so we can do appointments sort of after hours. What tends to happen with this site is Tony, who's my dad, who you still haven't met, lives just north of Hereford, and he will do the appointments here primarily. So he'll come sort of 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning and do an appointment, or he'll do them on his way home. So he'll finish early in Ross and he'll do an appointment here maybe 4 o'clock, 4:30, which is fine in the summer, no problem, but obviously in the winter it is useful to have this undercover, really well lit. And obviously if we're doing handovers as well, we can keep them dry under here. And then this was all real wasteland back here, and we thought, well, it wouldn't take a huge amount to be able to create some more space. So dug the bank out, not us personally, got somebody to do it, not very good at DIY, and we managed to create a space for an extra 4 small vehicles. So we always keep 4 little ones at the back here. Dad's actually got an appointment on the little Fiat 500 tomorrow evening, so we'll have to do some jigging around. That's Hereford train station, as close as you like. So yeah, we really like it. It's nice to have a presence here. Like I said, he lived 2 minutes away, so it's not difficult to be swapping cars over. I can walk around here pretty quickly, and it just gives us that presence here. And you know, it means people can view a car in more than one location. So if somebody from Hereford sees a car on the website that's in our Ross site, then we can swap it over. And it means we can keep it quite fresh at both sites as well, because if something sits for a couple of 3 weeks, then we can move it over here, and it's like having a fresh bit of stock. So just a little flavour of our second site, really. As I thought, well, I keep talking about it, but no bugger knows what it is. So now you do. And I will now go home, and Wednesday will soon be upon us. Thanks very much. See you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. Wednesday morning, ready for another day in paradise. So fairly relaxed day on paper today. Not a huge amount going on, but I'll run you through quickly, and we'll see if anything crops up during the day. So Volkswagen Up is going out at 10 o'clock, and that is going to the Scholes family, not Paul Scholes, he scores goals, but Scholes family from Ross. And this is actually going to be the third car they bought from us. This is for their daughter, who is learning to drive or just passed her test. They've had 2 cars previously from them, from us, the husband and wife, which we still look after, and this little Volkswagen Up is going to the daughter. Fantastic little cars, the Ups. This one's actually got the sat-nav, the Garmin sat-nav on the screen. and it was a grade 1, so it's pretty well immaculate. And it's a 16 plate, so it still comes under the £20 road tax model, one of the very last ones that did that. So that's going to be a perfect first little car for her. Grade 1 or 2 insurance group, very low indeed. Tyre's just done pictures of this little Sandero that arrived with us yesterday morning. That's actually a really nice spec for a Sandero, because they're fairly basic normally, but it's got the Renault, you probably can't see, it's got the Renault infotainment system, so it's got satellite navigation, it's got cruise control, it's got parking sensors, as you can see. It's also a biofuel, this one, so it's got an LPG tank underneath the carpet in the boot, so you can run it as a normal petrol car. There's also a switch where you can put it over to LPG, if you can find anywhere that supplies it these days. But still, really good value little car. Dave is coming today, our smart repairer. Good old Dave, been coming to us for years. We get on extremely well. So he's coming to do a few bits. We've got a little bumper corner on this Polo. He's going to refurbish both the front wheels on this one as well. What else? B-Max has got a rear corner to be done over there. There's also, so I'm walking all over the place here, getting my steps in. Motor Trade, not renowned for being involved with the fittest of people, so if I do a few laps around the garage throughout the day, it makes me feel better. I've got quite a few bits for Dave to do today, so I will be supplying him with many amounts of coffee, and Wednesday is breakfast roll day at Bowen's Garage. Everyone has a breakfast roll mid-morning, apart from myself and a couple of the others, because my body is a temple. This is a car that we sold a few weeks ago to Melvin. Melvin's had and family, I think this is his 4th car from us now, potentially 5th, plenty anyway. Now, bless Melvin, he does, when he has a new car from us, he does paint all the calipers gold, which is an acquired taste, I'll admit, not my personal preference, but he does it with every car that he buys from us. However, he was doing the calipers the other day, and unfortunately the jack slipped and he's damaged the sill slightly, so Dave's going to do that for him as well. Popped in on Monday, Melvin, and said that he'd damaged it, and I said, well, Dave's here on Wednesday anyway, so we'll get that done for you. So I think there's 4 cars for Dave to do. Kia Venga, he's got to do the front bumper corner on that. Obviously we've got the Polo, the B-Max out the back, so it's going to be a busy day. It might not all be done today, in all fairness, but the weather is nice, it's not windy, it's not raining, so hopefully he can crack on, and the breakfast roll will spur him on to get the job done. So that is it for this morning. I'm going to do a video of the day, so you now get that one fully advertised. And then I will have a look at buying some cars, because it's been quiet and it's end of month. We did the wages yesterday, we've got all our parts bills at the end of the month, we've got our warranty bills. We're not overladen with cash. We don't have any stocking facilities here, which I've mentioned on podcasts and so on before, so we run off all our own money. So all the stock is owned by us. We don't owe anything to anybody, which is good. But what it does do sometimes is hamper you when you've got a bit of a cash flow tunnel, or a cash flow roadblock, because obviously we've got quite a few cars going out, and cars that are worth sensible money. We had a quiet week last week, and we've got obviously all the bills to pay, end of the month, and wages and so on. So sometimes you can have a little bit of a stumbling block when it comes to cash flow. So the cash will come in, because we've got 4 or 5 cars to go out, but it's not in yet. So, and one never likes to count one's chickens, so we'll wait for a bit of money to come in. But I will have a look and see, and if there are a couple of auction that I can buy, then maybe we will do. But other than that, we'll see if anybody rocks up, and I'll update you later on. Take it easy. Little Wednesday afternoon update. We have sold the black Toyota Aygo automatic from our Hereford site. Tony's been on the phone. That deal's been sort of bubbling away for the last 24 hours. They're part exchanging a 2013 Volkswagen High Up, which is bread and butter stock for us with 40 odd thousand miles, full Volkswagen service history or near as, damn it. Cam belt's been done, cheap road tax, nice spec. So that's going to be coming in part exchange. The Aygo we're going to deliver up to Bromsgrove. Up will come back, so that'll be early part of next week. And while I was here, I thought I would just show you. Oh, there we go. If you are looking for a paintless dent removal wizard in and around the Forest of Dean, Ross-on-Wye area, Lee of the Dents business is your man. Lee's been coming to us for years and does all our PDRs, comes and sees us every week or 2 weeks, and is obviously mobile. So I thought I'd give him a shout out and a plug because he's come and done half a dozen for us today. Good as always. So if you are looking for somebody in and around the area, do give Lee a shout. So yeah, we're having a good week. 5 retail now, and obviously the trade one as well. It's all kicking off in the background. Oh, don't know where they're lost. It's alright. So yeah, it's turning into a good week, and we've still got a few irons in the fire, so I'm going to get back to trying to buy some cars, which is personally my favourite thing to do. So yeah, that'll be my afternoon, trying to hunt down some more low mileage beauties. So yeah, all good. Catch you later. I thought as I was in the process of doing some shout outs and some shameless plugging of the small independents, Dave is also here today doing our smart repairs, so I will do what I just did with Lee. Auto smart repairs. Dave's been coming to us for a long time, and we're doing the front bumper on the Polo. He doesn't want to be on camera, so he's hiding behind the door. We're doing the rear arch on there, rear bumper on the B-Max as well. A couple of wheels on that Polo also. So if you are after a local smart repair around the Herefordshire area, or Ross, then do give Dave a shout on the number on the van back there. Dave's been coming to us for years and years as well. So it's really good to have these small guys, especially mobile, that can come to us and do the bits and bobs, the small scuffs, the dents. We've got Jim who comes and does the windscreens as well. So it's just really nice to have a selection of guys that you can trust and rely on, that we see week in, week out. And we know what they can do. They know how we want the cars. Building up those relationships is so important to help run a really efficient little business, which we try to be. We try to be as efficient as we possibly can be. So to have, not using these big chains, like Auto Chips or whatever they're called, Chips Away, sorry. But having these small independent guys who you can trust, can come around and do a good job. They earn a day's wage. We're not having to ferry cars all over the place, backwards and forwards. I know what Dave can do, so we get a list together, and it just helps us run as an efficient little business as we can. And these guys really, really help. So when you're first starting in the trade, it can be extremely difficult to get these type of guys in, because you don't know them, and you meet these people along the way, and they make such a difference to your business without obviously breaking the bank. Dave's going to do 4 cars today. Well, if we were waiting for 4 cars to be done at the body shop backwards and forwards, that's a month in all reality. So really important to have these type of people on board, and we get on brilliantly with all of them, and obviously they keep coming back to us, so I guess we work out okay for them in terms of payment, and in terms of we ply them with many amounts of coffee. So yeah, it really, really important to have. So if you are starting out, do your best to try and get somebody in those little roles that you want, because it does make a massive difference. So close of play Wednesday, and where have we got to? Well, it's been a decent day again. We're having a good week, so that's It's a thumbs up from me at the moment. Hyundai i20, we finally got this one in to potentially do the clutch. We've got the master cylinder as well. Fortunately, master cylinder has done just the job. Pop the master cylinder on. It's been on a really good road test. Drives absolutely bang on now, so that's really good news. Doesn't need a clutch at all. Drives great. Handbrake was a little bit flippy, so adjusted the handbrake, done its levels. It was last serviced only a couple hundred miles ago in December, so it's ready to rock and roll other than an MOT. Kia Venga, now fully valeted. Really nice car, actually. Just needs the bumper corner doing. We've touched it in for now so that we can do pictures and whatever. Just a very tiny bumper corner to do. Dave's coming back tomorrow on that one. And what else has happened? Death Row is getting a little bit smaller. Polo's had its ABS pump fitted. Here's the black Polo. Dave's coming back tomorrow to do the wheels. Got a little bit waylaid today. My God, it's bright out here. And I think he's coming back to do the Venga tomorrow, and he's coming back to polish up the B-Max, which he's done the rear bumper on. Ago. Now, you haven't seen this one, but this is the one Tony sold over the phone at the Hereford site. Boys went and swapped it over this afternoon. So this is a little Ago automatic, black on black. Cool little car, really nice spec as well. So that's going up to Bromsgrove. And Tony has, I can't see a bloody thing out here. Tony has also sold a Fiat 500 in our Hereford site this afternoon. 2021 500 Lounge, so that's got the panoramic roof, touchscreen, in white, really nice car, 21 plate, proper little thing. So that's not going to be going for a couple of weeks. They can't pick it up next week, but they're going to pay for it beforehand, which is the main thing. We don't mind keeping the car for a little bit, as long as it's been paid for, so we can crack on and buy some more. So yeah, that's 6 retail this week at the end of Wednesday. Plus the Ibiza trade, which we made a little bit on. So a much better week. Had a really long phone call with Auto Trader this afternoon, which possibly could be a video for another day. Otherwise this video will go on for about 4.5 hours. So I had a 45-minute phone call with my Auto Trader rep this afternoon, but I'll do a separate video on that. Interesting. Anyway, I'm going to go home. Lovely day. Might sit in the garden for an hour tonight, perhaps. And we'll see you all again tomorrow. Take it easy. So, Thursday night. Little update for you. What's happened today? Well, truthfully, not huge amounts. No cars sold today. First day of the week we haven't sold anything. Always disappointing once the run ends, but can't go on every day. We did have a test drive in the Fiat 500 convertible, which Tony actually had an appointment on last night in the Hereford site. I had an appointment on it today. From an inquiry this morning, so we brought the car over from Hereford because they were more local to Ross. They had a mini 5-door automatic to part exchange, which they only bought from our local BMW Mini agent last year. And as soon as they said that, my heart sort of sank, because I knew that if they'd paid full retail price from the Mini main dealership a year ago, the chance of me being able to offer anything remotely sensible in their minds was going to be very difficult, and that proved out to be the case. So unfortunately, I think we were a bit too far away on the money side of it. They paid full whack retail at a main dealer 12 months ago, and I'm offering them substantially less. I offer them a really good trade price. Still gives us some margin retail, although I'm not a massive fan of minis, but still gives us something to go at. So I was as fair as I possibly could be, but I just think it's too far apart on that, unfortunately. We will see. They're going to let me know tomorrow either way, but I'm not holding out a great deal of hope for that one. We got 2 cars pictured, videoed, fully advertised, the i20, which is now driving absolutely fine, and also the Kia Venga. Dave came back today, finished off the B-Max, the Polo, so he was all good. And yeah, we're getting through them nicely now. I did buy 2 cars from auction today. Well, as you'll see in this, not today, on Thursday. It is Thursday. What am I talking about? Silly boy. So yeah, bought 2 Golfs today. Both diesel, both automatic, both 2 litre. One's a GTD, lovely thing with leather, and the other one's a match edition, so really nice spec. One red, one black, one with leather, one without. Both, one's done 50,000, one's done 46,000, both full service history, both 2 owners. One's in Bristol, which the boys will go and collect tomorrow, being Friday, and the other one will come from Northampton next week. There is a separate video on that, which is into a lot more detail of how my auction day went, so I'll put the link in the bottom if you haven't seen that already. So go and have a look at that if you want to see how we fared at a day, not at auctions, but in front of a screen, and my process for valuing cars and all that sort of thing. And that's about it. Tomorrow, Friday, Tony's off, so I'm flying solo, so to speak, along with Ty. I've got a test drive on the Skoda Yeti tomorrow morning. That's a lovely car, and it's a repeat customer as well, so fairly positive on that one. And we're handing over the blue Focus. Oh, we did hand over the white Honda Jazz today as well. So yeah, not a bad day, not too dramatic, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Good evening, everyone. It is Friday evening, about 5:30 now. We are just wrapping up for the week, and I'd forgotten I hadn't done a video at all today. No recording whatsoever, so I thought I'd better do some now before I go home for the weekend and completely forget about it. What has happened today? Tony was off. I went to a funeral sort of thing at lunchtime. Bit morbid. Don't know why I said that. Golf arrived from Mannheim, Bristol. I sent the boys this morning. If you've seen the video that went out on Thursday night, about specifically for the auctions, you'll see that I bought 2 Golfs. We went and picked the red one up this morning. It's come back. It was grade 1. I paid a fortune for that car. The rear bumper is very slightly off colour, slightly darker. So whether it's, I imagine it's had a little bit of paint on the back at some point, and it doesn't quite. To me, I can notice it. The boys who went and picked it up didn't notice it initially. Now they do notice it because I've told them. Would they have noticed it anyway? Will Joe Public notice it? That's irrelevant in my opinion. I know it's there, so we will more than likely get that redone and looking absolutely perfect, because that's how we like them. Even when they're on the forecourt, and the general public probably don't notice things that we notice things as traders. Maybe we're too harsh on ourselves sometimes. But now I know it's there, we will definitely be getting that sorted. So that was a little bit frustrating. Once you take it off site as well, there's no real recourse in terms of the bodywork. Mechanically, yes, on the shore checks, but not in terms of the bodywork. So just gonna have to make do with that one. It's a little bit frustrating it wasn't on the report. You'd think it would have been a grade 2, but hey ho, these things happen. Other than that, we handed over the Audi A3 this afternoon. We handed over the blue Ford Focus this morning. I bought a Ford EcoSport, one of our favourite little MPVs, SUVs, with the opening, the boot opens outwards like an old Freelander really. So I bought one of those up at Mannheim in Washington, which is way up in the northeast. But that's a grade 1 vehicle, 16 plate, 30 odd thousand miles, should be cheap road tax, and it's in a lovely metallic kinetic blue, which is like a nice sky blue, quite a bright blue colour, really looks well, good service history. So that'll be arriving early part of next week, along with the Golf GTD from Northampton. We have sold a car today, so that is 7 retail in the 5 days of this week, and the trade Ibiza as well, which we did make a little bit on. So a much better week. This is the sort of 6 or 7 a week is exactly where we want to be, so that's good news. I will be doing an update early part of next week on our quarter, because March is now at an end, and I will do an update for the whole quarter as to how we've got on compared with last year, and we'll have a little chat about the quarter that has just been and what may be to follow over the next few months. So there'll be a separate video coming on that, so keep an eye. The car we did sell today, if you can excuse the sun, Yeti. The Yeti monster has sold, as always with the Yetis in Ross on Wye. They just get snapped up so quickly. As I said when this one came in, I think this is one of the last ones that was registered October 17. Really high spec, heated leather seats, satellite navigation, cruise control, front and rear parking sensors, power folding mirrors, all the really nice bits. One owner from new, full service history, all at Skoda, and 40 something thousand miles. Sold it to a local couple, and they've already got a Yeti, which is an older one, and they're now going to have two. So they're keeping the older Yeti, and they are part exchanging a Volvo S40 diesel, 2011. Has a few DPF problems, I believe. Well, I know, actually, because we've been looking after the car for the last few years. We sold it to the customer a long time ago, 7-8 years ago, probably 8 years ago, and we've looked after it ever since. But the car does very limited mileage, and there's only so many times you can regen those little beasts. So that's why they've gone for a petrol Yeti to go with their other petrol Yeti, and that should make life an awful lot easier for them. So pleased to get that one away, and nice to have repeat customers. Again, that's always really good news when you get a repeat customer. And we'll probably look after the Yeti going forward as well, which is exactly what we want. So there we go. That is Monday to Friday, another week at Bowen's Garage. Not been too bad at all. So like I say, there'll be a full quarterly update early part of next week. I've also had a little gem of a Ford Fiesta come in part exchange, so I might do a separate video on that one as well as a little cheap part exchange, but we'll see how the early part of next week goes. So I really hope you've enjoyed this week. Hopefully it was a bit more enthusiastic than last week. It's not all doom and gloom, it was a bit more positive, so hopefully I've come across that way. Please let me know in the comments if I haven't. Please let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed it, and please let me know in the comments if you've hated it. It's still in its early stages of redevelopment, this channel. Not redevelopment, but in its early stages of a reform, so I'm still learning, but I have enjoyed doing it this week. So if you have as well, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already, do subscribe, and have a fantastic weekend. And hopefully, if you have enjoyed it and it's a fairly positive response, then we'll see you next week. Take care, all the best.